Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Sunday, as 49,700 is truly acting as a resistance level, exactly as we talked about yesterday with the 4-hour bear flag that we saw. We are now starting to see a slight breakdown of this actual market structure, but more importantly, what we want to talk about is if Bitcoin starts to move down towards this weekly open at 47,000 US dollars, are we going to be seeing altcoins bleed against Bitcoin for the first time since the start of altcoin season? And notice how if we look at our leading indicator for altcoins, Ethereum to Bitcoin is starting to breach 65,000 Satoshis. And I've been saying, despite every analyst saying that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin, that we might be in the early stages of a flight of capital going back into Bitcoin from altcoins, and this Ethereum to Bitcoin chart being the confirmation of this breaking 65,000 Satoshis. We want to monitor this as we start to see traditional markets open with more liquidity coming into the markets. Institutions will start making their bets, and then others' dominance and Bitcoin dominance, more importantly, Bitcoin dominance on the weekly chart coming towards this 20-week moving average at 46.7% dominance is the exact place that we want to watch coming into Monday and Tuesday, because if we start to see this reversal, that's the full confirmation after the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart breaks 65,000 Satoshis that our thesis is correct here on the Snipers channel. You guys know I throw out bold predictions. I watch every other analyst on YouTube, and I'll tell you right now, everyone's saying Bitcoin dominance is coming down. Now we're starting to see some people switch their opinions, but of course here on the Snipers channel, ever since Bitcoin broke 38,000, we told you guys 49,700 was the next target, and we'd most likely see some resistance here. Now we're starting to see the early signs of this. I want to talk about what the chances are for Bitcoin to break above 49,700. If we look at the crypto fear and greed index, we are at extreme fear right now. And remember, everything morphs from the smaller time frames into the larger time frames. And we do have this weekly candle closing in, oh, look at that number, 2 hours and 22 minutes. And so this is going to be a big puzzle piece as well as the new weekly candle opens. Are we going to be able to stay at this 20-week moving average, or at least above it at 43,300? That's going to be important as we go into the smaller time frames. You guys are watching the Snipers channel. Let's dive into this Bitcoin analysis. So first and foremost, 49,700 is a number we've had on this chart since Bitcoin dropped to 28,000. This was our target. If Bitcoin were to get above 38,000, we were talking about 49,700. And yesterday, we looked at the 4-hour time frame, and we saw that the initial test of this level was a bearish tail, and the body of every other 4-hour candle couldn't get towards this $49,700 level, assuming that we were coming into the weakness with, or coming into the weekend with weakness. Now we're starting to see Bitcoin starting to come down. Nothing to go home and tell grandma about yet, of course, but this could start to turn into something a little bit more severe. And this is why it's extremely important now that we watch this weekly open here at 47,000 US dollars. This green line on our charts, it's always the previous weekly open. So this is going to move up here, and I'm going to update the other assets after this video, but realize 47,000 is going to be a significant level coming into next week. And a lot of the whales will typically like to test previous weekly opens after the week opens, because most traders are looking at the current weekly open once this resets. So 47,000 at this point is my make it or break it for Bitcoin. I know that as Bitcoin has been moving up, we've been increasing our make it or break it point, I guess you can say. And initially it was at 41,950, then 44,800. Now it's at 47,000. And the reason we like to continue to bring that up is because for those that have been tuned into our channel since the entry that we took at 31,000 for Bitcoin, and then the Ethereum entry at 1760, if you have yet to take profits on those positions and you want to take profits on those positions, raising your make it or break it point is important, or having an area where you want to start hedging your spot positions with shorts could also be a place that, you know, you could still increase your capital in the market, with the market still coming down, of course. And so 47,000 breaking, in my opinion, is going to be the first sign that we're going to come and test 41,950, where we also have the monthly open. Now, the problem with this is if we break 47,000 and we start to see the sentiment in the market shift toward more fear coming towards 41,950, the likelihood of us coming further down becomes highly probable. And now we want to start monitoring the $34,788 level as a potential downside target, or even new lows for this year, 26,000 potentially, if we break 47,000. So that's why this is such a critical level now. So we're going to want to monitor this level. And then, of course, we break above 49,700. We can, at this point, assume that there's a potential Bitcoin can come to test 58,353. Now, the way this would most likely play out is if we get above 49,700 at any point in time, then what typically happens when you have a large range, and this is a 16% range from 49,700 to 58,000, is we'll come to the midpoint of the range to first test that level. So we can expect a potential target of 54,000 if 49,700 breaks. And then I would probably expect us to come back down to test 49,700. And then we may be in the early signs of starting a new impulse. So that's what I'm monitoring, but we can't just throw this upside scenario on the table without looking at the revolving parts of this market, because realize that at any point in time, if Bitcoin starts to move down, this could be the first time since the start of altcoin season that altcoins don't perform as much as Bitcoin. With the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart breaking 65,000 Satoshis, we want to monitor this. We've already tested it, which that means our predictions already came true. Despite every analyst saying this was going to break to the upside, we've said no, this is going to break to the downside, because our Bitcoin dominance prediction is that Bitcoin dominance is going to start rising back up, forming this sort of flat bottom, since we've yet to form any further lows for this year. So coming into this week, we're going to monitor this 20-week moving average with Bitcoin dominance. If we start to get above this 20-week moving average, there is a potential Bitcoin could be returning to homeostasis, which means it comes back to the 200-week moving average and just sits there for a while, like it usually does after we see a local top. And so that's what I want to monitor there. And then with the total cryptocurrency market cap chart, still a large range where it could go sideways. And so that also justifies the fact that altcoins could see liquidity flowing back into Bitcoin. Because here's kind of how I'm looking at it. At this point, because we peaked at this $2.56 trillion level, all the market action that we're seeing right now in the market is just liquidity that's already been in the market flowing into different coins. And that's why you see a lot of these low market cap altcoins breaking to new all-time highs. It's because it's easier to take some Bitcoin and then flow those into those altcoins for them to just see new all-time highs, since their market caps are so low. And so that's why I'm playing it as if we're just seeing capital move in different areas. And so, you know, what that means first and foremost is we don't want to be ever shorting Bitcoin with Bitcoin dominance this low. If you're going to be shorting, you want to short specific altcoins that are in the stages of seeing that sort of manipulation from the market capital that's already in the market flowing into them, because then that typically sees capital flow away from them to other coins, right? So that's kind of the thesis. If we're really confident on this Bitcoin dominance prediction, it's the fact that this season of the market should be open to shorts for altcoins, not shorting Bitcoin, taking strategic long positions on Bitcoin, and then, you know, stacking up your capital with those short-term gains to enter long-term positions when the time is right, like when Ethereum hit 1777 and we entered positions, or when Bitcoin hit 31,000, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed today's analysis on a Sunday. If you want to win one of my favorite books on value investing principles by Ray Dalio, all comments are legible. And remember to smash the like button so we can break it. Let's see here. Sky Trader says, Naeem, love the technical analysis, by the way. When you say Bitcoin dominance is possibly reversing, do you mean from it recently running up and it's going to reverse back down? Or do you mean reversing from the last couple months when it took a beating and we will possibly see a reversal, meaning another altcoin season? Thanks, bud. So what I mean by that, and by the way, send me a message on Instagram, you want a book. So what I mean by Bitcoin dominance reversing is this. The DXY is an extremely correlated chart to Bitcoin, and we were the first channel to cover this. with Jerome Powell announcing interest rates possibly increasing, we've seen the DXY starting its move to the upside, and then they started pulling out of the Afghanistan war. That strengthens the US dollar as the biggest budget, the biggest expense in a country's budget is war expense. And then, if we start to see more interest rate hikes, they're talking about taxing crypto. All of these things lead to the dollar seeing strength. And if that's actually the case, what we do know is that when the dollar strengthens, then we start to see capital in the cryptocurrency market hedge away from higher risk assets like altcoins back into Bitcoin as a storage of value, kind of like what gold acts as in traditional markets when there's a little bit of uncertainty. And so there's a strict correlation here between Bitcoin dominance and the DXY. And so what I'm saying is the DXY is already moving up. Bitcoin dominance is yet to really see the move to make everyone start saying, oh, Bitcoin dominance is now back in a bullish season. So because all those analysts are two-dimensional, we're more 3- and 4-dimensional on our channel, looking at other markets, looking at all revolving parts. So we're saying that we're in the early signs of this happening in the more macro term. And if that's the case, if we see this happen to Bitcoin dominance, this is a different way to play the market than this right here. So basically, when the altcoin season started in January and I said, okay, altcoin season is here, we only started taking longs on altcoins and just, taking spot positions, taking day trades on altcoins. And then even since we saw the top 4 Bitcoin, we've still been taking longs because this is where most analysts were faked out because, once again, they're two-dimensional and they said, oh, Bitcoin topped, so altcoin season is over. We said, no, altcoin season is still intact. And that would have been a good decision if you were watching our channel, because throughout this whole period, if you held your Cardano, for example, now you're seeing new all-time highs, but your Bitcoin isn't seeing new all-time highs. But now I'm saying, because we're 3- and 4-dimensional, that this right here, this higher low that's forming right now, is the end of altcoin season. So we're not being two-dimensional. We're saying, no, yeah, Bitcoin topped out, big deal. Now this is the inflection point we've been waiting for. Now we want to start changing our strategy, right? So hopefully that makes sense. And with that, thank you all for tuning into the channel today. Until next time, snipers.